You've probably heard that your Social Security check is untouchable, but before that money even reaches your bank account, the federal government has the legal authority to stamp a 15% pay cut right over your name. Today, we're going to look at exactly how they do it and the precise steps you need to take to stop them. If you owe money to a credit card company or a hospital, federal law heavily protects your retirement income. Private debt collectors can call you, but they can't legally touch your Social Security benefits to settle the bill. The government, however, plays by a completely different set of rules. Through a mechanism called the Treasury Offset Program, the government bypasses the courts entirely. If you owe specific types of federal debt, they can automatically deduct up to 15% of your monthly benefit. This turns the ultimate safety net of your retirement into a primary collection target. But there are legal defenses available, provided you deploy them before you file. The Treasury offset is triggered by specific obligations. The most common culprit is unpaid federal taxes, owed to the Internal Revenue Service. But there's another massive vulnerability, quietly draining the accounts of modern seniors: defaulted federal student loans held by the Department of Education. Unlike a private loan, federal student loans have no statute of limitations. The clock never stops ticking. The government can wait in the background for decades. When you claim benefits, that timeline locks in, and the 15% offset immediately kicks in. Ignoring a 30-year-old student loan doesn't make it disappear. It just guarantees a permanent 15% pay cut for the rest of your retired life. Private debts, like old credit cards or medical bills, operate on a completely different timeline. Every state has a statute of limitations, a countdown clock usually lasting 3 to 10 years. Once that clock runs out, the creditor legally loses their right to sue you. Debt collectors know this, which is why they hunt for zombie debt. They will call you about a long-expired account and apply intense psychological pressure, hoping you will make a critical mistake. Here is the legal trap. If you acknowledge that old debt in writing or send them a good faith payment of even $5, you instantly restart that statute of limitations clock from scratch. By trying to do the right thing and pay a few pennies on a debt account, you accidentally destroy your legal immunity and open your assets up to a brand new lawsuit. For federal debts, you have to actively disarm the government's collection tools. Enrolling in income-driven repayment plans or filing for financial hardship exemptions serves as your primary legal shield against the Treasury offset. Right now, timing is heavily on your side. In 2026, the Department of Education initiated an involuntary collections pause. This systemic delay creates a narrow, temporary safe harbor for seniors to organize their defenses. Under this pause, borrowers have a second chance rehabilitation option. You can use this window to legally pull a defaulted student loan completely out of the government's crosshairs, returning it to good standing. The federal government has immense power to take your money, but they also built the precise bureaucratic mechanisms you can use to stop them. You just have to be the one to actively pull the trigger. For private creditors, your ultimate defense is achieving judgment-proof status through a federal banking regulation known as the look-back rule. The math is exact. If your Social Security is directly deposited, federal law requires your bank to automatically shield exactly 2 months' worth of that income from any private garnishment or freeze. But if you mix those protected funds with a pension, side hustle income, or a spouse's paycheck, you ruin that automatic protection. You need a dedicated, clean bank account exclusively for Social Security. You cannot wait until your first check arrives to set this up. Federal loan rehabilitation and judgment-proof banking need to be fully established at least 90 days before you file your initial claim to guarantee that first check arrives completely intact. Claiming Social Security is a tactical legal defense strategy. Subscribe to the channel for more step-by-step 2026 retirement blueprints to keep your assets entirely yours.